Hey guys, Terra from Cosplay here, coming at you with another interview. So today we've got Arboreal Key from France. In my opinion, she's one of the world's probably close to one of the best cosplay builders I've seen as far as detail, quality, everything like that. I mean, she's absolutely awesome. And on top of that, she's an awesome person too. And I can't believe she's only 22 years old. So the rest of us have been struggling away trying to get this done for years, and she stumbles in at her young age and just makes a fool out of us. But that's okay. Look, we're going to cut across and we're going to have a bit of a chat with her, and so ask her some questions. Feel free to shoot some questions up in chat, and let's see where it goes. So, and there we go. We're live. So, welcome.
Hi. Thanks for inviting me.
Not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. So, I just mentioned to everybody that you're only 22 years old. Now, you're in France. Whereabouts in France are you?
In Marseille. I don't know if you know the city. It's the extreme south of France.
In Marseille.
So
Yeah.
I'm from,
I know
yeah.
where Marseille is. Yeah. So
Oh,
I've even been down as far as Monaco. So, which is not quite France, but it's close enough. So actually, I flew through Nice, to get down that way. So,
okay.
um, but it's a pretty area. Very, very pretty area. So I hear you're in lockdown like the rest of us right now.
It's not too bad, honestly. I think people who work on medical jobs have it way harder because it's a medical crisis,
Oh, it is.
and
No, it's
I just can stay home and continue to build my stuff. So it's not a big change for as far as I'm concerned.
well, I
But there are
suppose
people
yeah.
out there who are still working and
Oh, yeah.
are exposed to the
So cosplayers are
contamination.
lucky they can actually just sit back, relax, and build stuff because that's what we normally do. We hide in we hide in our workshops and we build. So I don't think it's much of a change for us. Um, so I'm just looking at some of your costumes and Valkyr Grax, is it the Warframe?
Yeah,
That's kind of one of my favourite ones, I think. Now I'm just bringing a photo of it up for people to see. Oh, it's a video. All right. So give me a
I
second. I'm just
I
going to.
can't believe someone just said Alléluem in the chat. It's the football team in Marseille.
So all right, hang on. Let's go across the right-hand screen. Here we are. This beautiful Warframe costume that I watched you build, piece by piece,
For
and
2 years.
2 years. All right,
Yeah,
hang on a second.
because
It's
I
it's
almost quit at some point.
it keeps wanting to go to Instagram, so we're just going to reload it on the page here.
Yeah, there is a video here.
That's okay. We're just going to reload it here. There we go. Let's watch it again. So,
Oh,
I mean,
it's not the most recent one. Ah, sorry. I had
that's okay. That's okay. I mean, we can
okay.
get a good look at it. So, the bodysuit
Yeah.
itself, did you sew that as well?
Yeah, I made it with separate strips of fabric. So I assembled them one by one.
Wow. Okay, that's impressive. So, I mean, it's difficult at best to do any of that. I mean, my first sewing job was my wife's stretch pleather bodysuit. So I didn't do pillowcases or anything like that. I just went straight into doing something stupidly hard. So I know exactly what it's like to try and sew something, especially that complex.
It's
Uh,
not that hard, it's just really, really long and annoying because you do the same thing like 100 times. Just
okay.
you cut your strips, you sew your strips, and onto the next one.
And then keep
Then you
going on the next and the
slowly,
next and the
yeah, you
next.
slowly build your bodysuit.
So, Trigono, Manzu,
Yeah, so that's
still says photos coming soon, so we'll come back to that one.
yeah, it's completely different thing. It's for a short movie.
Oh, okay.
Um, it's a team from Martinique. It's one of the islands in the Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of France. It's one of the, and they had a post-apocalyptic project. So they contacted me to design and build two costumes. So one is a villain, it's the one you saw,
Mm-hmm.
and a mechanical arm for one of the not good guy because it's post-apocalyptic. So
So there's
There
no good
is
guys.
there's no good guys. So
So,
yeah,
I'm
I
just
could.
so impressed with the workman. I've tried to make my own version of things with my own cosplay building, but it's very, very difficult. It's so hard to just start from scratch and then actually have that creativity
Mm,
to
I
make your own thing.
I had an inspiration for that one because they are working with a comic book illustrator who
Okay.
is a fan of this kind of universe. So he's doing this on his spare time, and he drew some concept of the characters to give me an idea of the styles I wanted. So I didn't follow the concept art at all, but the styles is the same. So I did
Mm-hmm.
not work alone on this.
So we got a
It was
question. I'm just trying to read. I'm loading up
oh,
my
the
chat
Skyrim
software.
Armor.
Yeah, the Skyrim Armor. So how long did the Skyrim Armor take to make?
Uh, in terms of hours, I really don't know because I didn't count, but I think I spent a month for the very first version. I didn't have the how is it called? The gambeson, the padded
Oh yeah,
garment underneath.
the Gambison. Yep.
So I only had the armor, and I made 4 versions of this Skyrim build.
Mm-hmm.
I kept adding stuff and modifying things, so hundreds of hours, I think.
Hundred. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because
People don't realize how long it actually takes to make
yeah,
this sort of stuff from ground up. It's they go, oh yeah, you put that together in the weekend. No,
no,
I just spent like forever making it.
because I had to make all the texture all over the armor. It's kind of a stone-like aspect. So I
Okay.
carved it with a rotary tool by hand for.
Oh. All right. So I'm looking at your Wonder Woman outfit, and that is really, really good. So
Thank you.
let me just I'm just going to cut across. Okay, here we go. So here's the Wonder Woman. Starts off with the legs, and the paintwork on that is amazing. Is that just like
Thank you.
what have you put on the surface of that to make it so shiny, or have you polished it somehow, or
No, it was the result of many experiments. I even wrote some kind of ebook about the Wonder Woman build. So I
mm-hmm.
described my struggle with the wet paint inside. I made a video on the subject. So it's gold and copper paint underneath. So it's not paint, it's wax. Like
Oh
the
yeah, rubbing wax, yes, yep,
yeah, like rub and buff. It's not.
yep.
It's a different brand, but it's the same stuff.
I've got
And
a whole
then
drawer of it here.
yeah, and then I put some a clear red by Tamiya,
Mm-hmm.
model paint on it.
Give me 1 second. I'm just going to see if I can find mine. Okay, sorry, they were just disappeared for a second. No, I didn't, because I didn't cut it back across. So the one I've got, let's go. There we go. So the one I've actually got is called Gilding Wax.
I think I know. No, I don't. I don't know.
So this is
Uh,
the purple
so
Gilding
this is
Wax.
something you got in Australia. I couldn't find any purple or
eBay,
even red. Oh,
eBay.
on eBay. Okay.
So there's purple. I've got red. I've got silver.
How dark is your red? Okay.
So
I have
I've got
like
quite a
3.
lot of gilding wax going on here.
I have silver, gold, and copper. That's all the classical colors.
I'll see if I can find the red.
Because I got some red from a Dutch website, I think, and it was way too orange for what I wanted to do.
So
Okay, your red is really red.
the red is really is Wonder Woman
Yeah,
red. So
okay.
it's
I'm gonna need that one because I didn't find it when I was
it's
looking for
actually
paint.
extremely red.
Well, okay, it's beautiful.
So the only thing I found with gilding wax is it's very difficult to seal properly.
Yeah, because it loses the aspect, the metallic aspect.
It will.
So
So
yeah,
I found one sealer that will work, and that's Rust-Oleum 2X Clear. which is
I
a
don't even.
spray-on, acrylic
Yeah.
spray-on clear coating, but only a very light coat, just enough so it doesn't lose its polish.
Mm. I
But
don't even know if you can get it in France. We have
I'm not
Rust-Oleum
sure.
products, but not varnish. It's like we have silver paint and copper paint. I've seen
Yeah, this
those,
this
but
is more along the lines of it's a clear
it's a
coat.
clear cloak. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's acrylic. It's not.
Okay.
It's
So
not. It's
it
not like
doesn't
a.
crack.
No, it doesn't crack.
Oh, that's nice.
It's helpful. It's helpful.
No,
Um,
on Wonder Woman, what I did is it's called a candy effect, I think.
yeah, I'm just going to
Having
change back
a
to the
gloss
screen here
colored
so we can.
varnish on
There we go. So we're looking at the forearms now.
of the forearms of what?
Yeah,
Where are
there.
you?
You can't see it on your screen, but I'm showing it on the stream. So Charmaine's come in and said shiploads of rub and buff wax. So yeah, it's about $6 a tin, and that's
Yeah, I got some from the internet because obviously we don't have red and buff in Europe, not in France, so you have to get it on the internet. And I didn't like it. I have
well,
the red one and the black one, and it's not as covering as the other one I've got. So I
no,
was a bit
they're all different
disappointed.
types, and that's the biggest problem. Is it's so difficult to get a consistency out of them. I've got some gold in a tube that's very very
Yeah,
soft, but then I've got the other stuff which is almost like candle wax, very hard to use.
it's really weird. So the one I have, it's a French brand. It's made for furniture and painting frames, you know.
Yep, that's the one in
To
the tube, I think, isn't it?
No, it's in a little jar, and it's
Oh,
really
okay.
really thick, and the colors are really amazing.
Oh,
And it's a shame
nice.
that they only do shades of gold and silver, because it's really for ancient furniture and not for cosplay or painting things red.
Well,
So
I'll
it's
send you the links for eBay through for the rub and
thank
or
you,
for
thank you.
the gilding wax I've got.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I mean, just the effects and the effect ranges that you've got there, and also the shading and the differences. It's it's most people think, oh yeah, that's just you put the paint on and then you're done, but it's not like that at all. So to get the wear and the weathered look and the effects, it's difficult at best. So I mean, my hat comes off to you on the level of quality of your paintwork it's just awesome.
Thank
Um,
you.
it's okay. I'm just pointing it out. This is pretty good. So I think we're now going to cut across to the mechanical arm from the movie or the movie you were talking about.
Yeah, I haven't put the most recent work on the portfolio like the tales you saw because it's still unfinished. So the website isn't up to date. You know, it's missing things. Oh, it's my father. Poor guy.
So yeah, I mean some of the detail it's difficult to get that sort of detail and a balance in construction when you're when you're actually making something from scratch. That's the hardest thing.
Yeah, it's made of scraps. You know, we have a big box full of shit, to be honest.
Yep.
So it's just bits of electrical stuff and a lot of wires. So I just took this box and kept whatever was interesting, and I built an arm with it.
And it's a
So
pretty good looking arm. I
thanks.
like the arm. It's very very. I mean, I've tried to make things just creatively, and I suck.
The really interesting thing is that the character he's supposed to have an arm made of spare parts because it's post-apocalyptic and they don't have supplies. So I had to make something that could look like it was built in a garage or in a basement with
Hmm.
stuff that was hanging around. So that's what I
Almost
did.
like Fallout or something like that. Just
Yeah,
post
yeah.
apocalyptic, just bits and
Mm.
pieces of garbage, and then strung together. So now we're going to cut across to one of my more favorite ones, and only because
I think I know what you're talking about. I think.
So it seems to be going on its own. There we go, because it's on some sort of a cycle. So here we have the Warhammer one.
One of them.
One of them.
You know what? I made 3 actually.
You made 3.
3.5. Some people forgot about it, but my second Warhammer project, it was Lely Vesperex. Because now I do big armor and all, but I've been half naked before in a costume.
The things we do for cosplay. But I mean,
Yes,
this
that one's the Blizzard. I don't think the other one is on my website. The Phoenix Lord, Bahamut. It's the wrong pronunciation, I think.
But I mean, just
The
the
swooping
detail on
hope.
that armor is
Yeah.
incredible. I mean, you know, it's. I've only been doing this for 2 years, and I'm fighting to get that balance of detail versus, you know, not too much, and but yeah, it's just everything you've done here is just really, really nice.
Thank you. This one was a struggle as well. I almost completely abandoned the project at some point because, you know, when I start doing characters that people like but do not necessarily want to cosplay, you know, well, like the Vizark, people play Eldar or have armies or like the characters, but you don't see a lot of Eldar cosplay. So when you do one, uh, you automatically become the center of attention in the fandom. And a lot of people are looking at what you're doing and expecting it to be awesome. And sometimes I cannot take it. And I become afraid of completing the project.
I had the same thing when I first got out in my Space Marine. It's because my Space Marine, there's so many things wrong with it that it's not according to the lore. You know, it's not quite right for his chapter, and it's just,
Okay.
and then I made a few things up as I went along. But you know, I had a few people come up to me and say, "Oh, well, that's not canon, and that's not right," you know, and
Yeah.
so my final response, instead of it hurt because I thought, you know, I've made this, and you know, I'm proud of it. It may not be quite right, but I'm proud of it. And then finally, I just said to them, "Well, where's yours?"
Nice one, nice one.
That stops them straight away. So you know, it's like they don't have a choice after that. So they just walk away. So okay, so you've made 3. I'm looking for the other ones on your
Yeah,
website at the moment.
I'm not sure it's on the website. Where can you see it?
But now the one thing that let's cut across the one thing that I believe you're quite famous for is your tail.
My what?
Tail.
Ah, the tail. Okay, I heard
Tail.
tail, and I was like, what the hell is he
The
talking
tail.
about? You know, I was looking at the floor tiles. Why are they famous? The
So,
tail. Okay, sorry.
now I'm trying to find the there's one of the tails. Okay.
You know, I received a lot of bad feedback for the tails. The first one I made one. It was for a commission, and I had, you know, the Inquisition come to my Instagram and say, "Oh, tails are not natural. You are a furry scum," and something like that.
Serious? Oh.
Okay.
No, I
I
was
got
just fascinated in
insulted by
in the
random
way you
people.
could get the tail to actually move quite well without any mechanical articulation. So you didn't have any any actual, like, because you can get these motorized tails that'll flick for you and things.
Yeah, I saw the ads for a thing called a costail, because someone tagged me on the post and said, "Oh, it's the same thing you did," and it isn't, because well, it's articulated sections, so the, you know, the, what's the word? I don't know. The system is based on the same principle. You have sections that they can move, and the difference is they have a motor and I don't. So mine just swings with your body.
Which is
It's
fantastic
different.
because I mean, you know,
Different.
it's so hard to get people. It's so hard to get that proper movement going. I mean, it's difficult at best to design up something that's going to work how it's supposed to work. And I mean, I've had to do the same thing with some of my stuff to make sure the movement is correct, because it's easy to build armor, and
but you have to move in it.
Which you have to move in it, and you have to be able to look like you're supposed to be in it. That's the biggest thing, and so that's what I was so impressed with, was the way everything sort of moved together and didn't work. It didn't move too far. It didn't move too little. And it didn't look like it was in the road for you. It didn't look like it was. It was clumsy. It looked like it was supposed to be there.
Thank you.
That's okay. I'm saying. I mean, this is. I'm probably not the only person to be thinking this. So I'm just going through all the different videos on the screen at the moment, just showing, some of the tales and some of the mechanics behind it that you got up on Instagram.
Yeah, I made them for a video, because I made a dragon tail last year for someone who wanted one, and I didn't film because I didn't really know what I was doing. So when I'm trying experiments, I don't film what I'm doing. And people kept asking for a video, so I had to make another tail for the video. It's the first one you saw, the Tyrannid one. And then people started asking about other types of tails, so I built 2 other tails for the video. So that's why there is a cat tail now, and a lizard thing somewhere.
So I was just looking at the Warframe one again, the one where you've got the bow. That was pretty cool. So I mean, you've got also some pretty cool wings as well. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out where are these hip wings coming from. So the wings that come out of your hips.
It's from Darkstalkers. It's a fighting video game. It was a commission as well. It's stuck in France. It was supposed to go to Australia, but because of the confinement, you cannot send things anymore, so it's stuck here.
True. Yeah, I think most of our foam, our EVA foam suppliers are having trouble getting EVA foam, so I think construction is going to slow down for a little while on cosplay costumes. It's going to be difficult. So, but yeah, I'm just going through some of the Instagram pictures. So, guys, if you want to jump on, it's just Instagram.com/Arboreal Key. So just as it's spelt, just as it sounds, as well as Facebook and Twitter, and what was the other one?
There's a website.
And the website,
arborealkey.com. The website.
Yep. So feel free to jump on and have a bit of a look at all that. Now, okay, what is your next cosplay build? Are we allowed to
know? Yeah, because I mean, I'm not sure. My issue is that, since before 2018, since the Vezark, I haven't had a new project, because the Vezark already took so long. It was finished like a year ago, but I actually started in June 2017, I think. And my Valkyrie costume started in February 2018, and since I've been working on it on my spare time, so it was my last personal project, and now I have trouble choosing one. I have an idea, and I think I said it somewhere. I make a sort of announcement, but I'm not sure where we build it. It's another skin from Warframe. I can send you a link so you can visualize. Okay. So there you go.
All right, let me just bring that up, and I'll flick across on the... There we go. All right, okay, so that's the one you're talking about there.
Yeah.
That is going to be a very incredible one to do. That is just going to be insane. I mean, the lights. Oh, the lights.
The details on it. I mean, Warframe really has amazing designs. I could spend a lifetime building props and costume from the game without getting bored, because it's just so interesting.
I mean, there's some serious, serious level of detail there.
Yeah.
As well as different
crazy.
materials, just wow. And it all looks wearable. Except that neck. That neck looks a little thin.
Yeah, it's one of the more human-looking skins in the game because you also have really weird creatures. Some characters you can play don't even have feet, or
Okay.
have really weird body parts. So this one is more humanoid, but I'm still not sure because I really love the game and the skin, the character and all, but I don't like building something that have already been built before. And Warframe is getting popular among cosplayers, so you see cosplay projects not everywhere, but people who want to build Warframe stuff. And the skin is getting a lot of hype from players and cosplayers. And I've already been contacted by 2 people who want to build the skin as well. So I'm not sure I will carry on with it because I don't want to be doing the same thing as
somebody
a lot
else.
of other people. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
Believe
maybe...
me, I know all about that. I've got a 10.5 foot Terminator that says that. But look, I mean, it is hard to try and pick a costume that other people don't have. But at the same time, I suppose when it comes from me, it's like I don't like doing a named character or somebody who's in the spotlight, but I want to do something that is unique enough that people are going to go, wow, and they're going to be blown away by it. Or I don't want them to come up and go, so what character are you, and where are you from? Because you just want to go, oh, please, no.
No, because I hear it all the time and it doesn't really bother me. A lot of people in convention, when I'm wearing Warhammer Armor, they say, oh, it's from League of Legends.
Oh, no!
Because nobody in League of Legends looks like that.
No.
I mean,
but look, a lot of people don't know. They just don't. They don't follow these things. So they just take a wild stab in the dark. I got called a transformer. Come on.
I mean, the first letter is the same. Terminator, transformer.
We'll go with that. We'll go with that. So this is your next possible project. Are you going to commit to it, or are you going to?
I don't know, especially when it comes to Warframe. A lot of people who work on the game are looking at my Twitter account. They follow me on Twitter, so they look at everything I'm doing.
But the thing is, you do it well.
So I cannot start things and not finish them. I have to be sure because people get hyped and then they would be disappointed. And I think it might sound stupid, but I find it really hard to build something while the people who design your character are looking at you. It happened with my Warframe costume. The guy who designed the skin, he contacted me really early in the build and offered me to send me his 3D models to help me with the reference.
Wow. Oh, that's my greatest wish.
And he has been looking at the project evolving from start to finish, and I really lack confidence. So it was really hard to keep posting progress pictures. Because you try to imagine what's going on in the designer head. Will he be disappointed? Will I do justice to the character? I was so afraid of a backslash or something like that.
I hear you. I understand that entirely. It's so difficult because we want to do it justice. We want to do the best we can. Sometimes we're limited by materials or or talent or
money.
Money's the greatest killer. But yes, we there are limitations everywhere. But this is why I always say just take your time and be patient. And if it's going to cost a lot of money, stretch it out. Make it.
That's what I did.
Yeah, just
because it takes
take
me
a
two
long
years
time.
to make something.
Yeah, I mean, well,
So yeah,
a lot of other people were complaining because I was making costumes in 3 to 6 months.
mm.
But again, it just comes down to, materials, cost,
And
time.
the time, yeah.
Yep. Some people only have on, the weekends to work
Mm,
on things. I'm
mm.
lucky enough to be able to work from home. So a lot of the times I could, in between work, I could just sit on the floor and craft. So,
Yeah, and well, I'm self-employed, so I work on costume all days, but not my own. So people who don't know that, they see me posting a ton of different things and think I started three different projects. But no, one is my personal project, and the other are what pays the bills,
yeah, well,
the ones I'm supposed to
they're
work on.
commissions. So,
So
but
a lot of people, yeah.
I just
Well,
don't do commissions because I don't want to disappoint people. Um,
yeah.
that's my biggest problem is
Mm,
people are always asking, can you make me a helmet, or can you make me a space marine suit, or
mm.
can you make me a weapon, and I don't want to make it for them because I don't want to disappoint them, and plus I don't know what to charge them.
So it's complicated.
Hmm.
I do not take Warhammer commissions. Well, not Space Marine or full armor because it's. Do you imagine the price
It's
of
200. It's
something like
200
that?
hours worth of work on
Yeah.
a, and that's once you know what you're doing, um, and you've got your templates, etc. You can cut that down to about 100 hours. But if you have to
Mm,
research, if you have to make
yeah.
custom bits, etc., as you know, it takes
Mm,
time, it takes effort. There's a lot of research involved. There's a lot of you might have to learn new programs, new software, new techniques to do different things to get different effects, and just to make the customer happy. And so sometimes I'll get somebody saying, "Oh, I could make that for $500." It's like, well, I'm glad you could because I couldn't. It cost me 3 times that in materials. And
you know,
again, it comes down to quality of materials.
yeah.
So when you're doing something for commission, you've got to use the best materials you can. Um, and you've got to make sure it doesn't fall apart.
Yes, that's the difficult part because you never know what the client is gonna do with your prop. So,
Exactly, and I think the hardest thing is it's not just the fact that they're going to do something crazy with it. They don't know how it was built. They don't know how to fix it if something goes wrong.
yeah,
So instead of doing commissions, I like to teach people how to do it themselves. And
I do both.
oh, good, because it's so
I
hard.
try to do both.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot easier to say, well, okay, look, here's how you cut foam, here's how you glue foam, here's how you make a pattern, and now go ahead and get some foam and make what you want. But I suppose it takes someone special to do those last details and make sure that the surface is smooth, and be patient enough to make sure it's a good quality before you let it go. And so that's the difference between people like yourself and other cosplayers that are out there that'll make a costume in a weekend. So we could both put a costume together in a weekend, but I don't think it would be very good. It, I,
Maybe something small,
oh,
or
I
a
mean,
post-apocalyptic costume because it's supposed to look disgusting and rusty. So it's something you can put together in a few days.
we'll do that. But look, I mean, it comes down to, I suppose, attention to detail, and that's something I've noticed with your work is there's such a great attention to detail,
I really
and
don't want to rush costumes
mm,
because otherwise I cannot do what I want to do on it. Push as far as I can to find the solutions I want and make the details I want and make parts move like I want.
and
I
that's
wouldn't be able to make a tail like that if you gave me, I don't know, a couple of hours. I mean, now I can because I have I came up with a new system, and it's really faster to build, and it uses less material, so it's a win-win. But I still want to finish the tail cover properly, to paint, I don't know, paint the scales or make nice attachments, yes, that kind of thing. And I don't want to rush projects, so I refuse projects with a close deadline.
Okay, yep, no, that's good, because, I mean, usually you can't, life gets in the road too. Sometimes you just can't get that deadline finished. So
I prefer to postpone things, instead of rushing, because I will be disappointed in myself. So
exactly, and then the quality of your work then suffers, and so does your reputation, and we don't want that.
Yeah,
None of us want that.
That's the point.
So, Son of Skyrim says dealing with people's unrealistic expectations when doing a commission is the hardest thing. They often don't understand how much time, effort, and material goes into it, and that's exactly it.
He's so right.
So, Odd has just said he spent 2 years on his Space Marine. So, it's, we all spend a lot of money on and time on these sort of things because it's our hobby, it's what we do. And if we can turn it into a business like you have, where you can pay the bills with it, I suppose that's even better. Me, on the other hand, I like to just avoid that because otherwise I'll start to hate it. So right now, I'm still enjoying it to a point. But I find it very hard to keep going every day doing it.
It's one of the reasons I started doing it full-time, actually, because a lot of people see costume making as a hobby. And once I start taking something seriously, I cannot have fun anymore, And around 2017, I think, or 18, I stopped having fun in cosplay as a hobby, but I still enjoyed it because there is a creative process. But I don't know how to explain it. But I went too far on projects. I took it too seriously, so it was more than a hobby. And at this point, it's better to make it your job since we cannot enjoy it as a hobby. So
I guess,
it's hard to explain. I don't know how to explain.
No. I understand entirely. I mean, when I go to...
I cared too much,
Yeah, when I go to a convention now, and I've only been doing this 2 years, and I'm already at that point where I don't go to the convention to, enjoy myself and hang around with a lot of people. I go there to show off my costume and go, look what I just finished. And if there's a contest, I might go in the contest, and it's the wrong approach because and that's what I realized on the last one. And I was lucky enough when I walked in the Terminator, which was only a few weeks ago, that I put out a call and about 25 people came to help me. All cosplayers and everything. They came to help me suit up and make sure the crowds were away so they could be safe and just in case I fell over. But everybody pitched in and it was amazing, and so I got a bit of that feeling back. But for a long time I started to lose the feeling of these conventions aren't fun, so why am I doing this?
I really sorry.
No, go ahead.
I really feel you on that one because I almost stopped going to convention when I started going to cons. So I started cosplaying in 2015 and went full-time in January 2019. So it's just more than a year. And when I started going to cons, it was something new. I had put together a costume with what I had. And for some reason, it was absolute rubbish, and people loved it for some reason. And I got a lot of attention, and well, I'm gonna be totally honest. Maybe at the time I was craving this attention because I don't know, I was struggling a bit with depression and this kind of thing. So it was nice to have people liking what you do. And
Exactly.
now I have tons of people who liking what I do. So uh, maybe I only enjoy convention because I got attention here, and now I cannot really enjoy it because I've never really liked crowds or this kind of thing, or hanging out with people. I'm more of a solitary person, and I enjoy judging cosplay contests or watching cosplay contests or making panels, this kind of thing. But I don't enjoy walking around in costumes anymore because I don't know, it gets a bit boring. I
It
don't know
gets
how to
boring. I
explain it,
mean,
but I
you
I
can
don't
only walk
enjoy it
around in the
anymore.
costume for so long, and then well, that's it. And then and
Yeah,
once you've been to a few, because I mean
yeah.
now I
I'm like,
mean we're like
what am I doing?
we don't have any conventions for the rest of the year,
Hmm.
and maybe even start of next year, but eventually we'll have conventions start up again, but they're going to be a lot smaller now, and I think it's going to be a lot more intimate. So you're gonna have a lot more friends there. You're gonna have a lot more
Hmm.
things to do,
Yeah.
um, because I mean I've been to almost every convention in the last 2 years that I could reach. So I just loved going to conventions. But I mean I started because I didn't want to keep going to conventions as a normal person because you pay a lot
Mm.
of money to get in.
Mm.
Then you walk around for 2 hours. You look at all the stuff for sale. You don't buy anything because it's too expensive.
Exactly. And you don't
And
have pockets, so you cannot keep the stuff you
well, no, no,
buy.
no.
So,
I wasn't in costume then.
oh, okay.
So this
I've
is
never
just
done a convention without a costume.
well. That's the
I've never
problem is
done it.
when you do a convention without costume, it's even more boring because you last about 2 hours and you go home. And so that was a big waste of money. And so I said to my wife, I said, that's enough. I don't want to waste any more money. And she says, well, don't you want to go to, don't you want to go to the convention? I said, yeah, but I want to go in costume next time. And that's where it all started. So, and as you know, that Space Marine was my very first costume. So
Yeah, you said it. Yeah.
I made a very big costume, so I wouldn't have to be going to the gym to wear spandex leotards and things. So yeah, I made a big costume, and that's I just haven't stopped since making big costumes. But I enjoy going to the convention for the entire day. So from the time it opens to the time it closes, and every day,
Yeah.
because probably the first year I was going and enjoying the cosplayers, I was enjoying the crowd, I was enjoying the attention. The second year, not so much. And I would spend less time in costume. And then now I guess I'm more leaning towards the attention to detail on the costumes.
I enjoy conventions when I have something to do. When people ask crafting questions or that kind of thing,
Mm.
because you cannot get bored when you are explaining something. But in my area in France, conventions tend to always invite the same people to make panels and conferences. And I'm not really known in my own country, so I don't really get invited. So I don't have the occasion to talk about crafting. I don't have. Uh,
You have to
I
make
can't
them
make
invite
panels.
you.
Eh, I don't want to bust into their inboxes. Ask for it. I've never asked for anything in my life.
Do it.
I've never asked for a photo shoot. So it's always the photographer who comes to me and
Mhm.
says, "Oh, I'd like to make a photo shoot of you." It's always people who come to me and ask for commissions because I do not consider myself good enough to ask for that. And I'm not the kind of guest that conventions might need, because when you invite someone at a con, you pay for the trip, and the
Mhm.
hotel. so they have to get money out for you, and they expect you to bring some public to the convention, people who want to see you. But people do not want to see me because I am a crafter before being a cosplayer. I'm more of an artist who works in the shadows than a public personality, so I do not necessarily interest conventions.
Okay,
You
yeah,
know, you know what I mean?
I
So
understand
it's
you. I
different.
understand that part because it's. I mean, I'm almost in the same boat where I'm finding it very difficult to get invited to conventions. And I mean, I get invited to go to conventions now, and to present and to do workshops because of my crafting skills.
I'd love to do that workshop. It's my dream, doing a workshop in a
But
convention.
you have to suggest it to them. You have to tell
Yeah,
them. You have to email them and say, you know, here are my samples of my work. Here are some videos of my
yeah,
how-tos.
maybe I should. Yeah,
Um, you know, I'm a crafter. I'm a cosplayer, and my work is you don't have to say it's known around the world, but it is. And
it, it, it's more around the world than in my own country.
it's the same here with
I
me.
mean, it's really weird because I have an American audience
Hmm.
for some reason. I don't know why. And I always work from foreigners on commissions. I made one commission for someone in France. One out of I don't know how many, but I work for America, I work for Australia, for the UK too, but never
Never
for my own
France.
country.
Hmm. Yet there are French cosplayers out there getting commissions from Americans and UK and Australia, and it's the way it is. I don't know why it happens like that, but look, at the end of the day, I think you should approach the conventions more so now because a lot of conventions are finding it difficult to get people interested to come because it's the same circus. It's they've got the dancing
Yeah, there
monkeys,
is nothing new.
they've got the elephants jumping through the hoops. It's just the same circus. They just change the name every time. So, but with cosplayers and cosplay building, especially crafting, it's an art form, and it's something that people want to get into and they want to learn. They just don't know where to start, or they don't have a mentor to show them. It's not that hard. You don't have to be Leonardo da Vinci to dive into this. So
Yeah, I've been contacted by events this year, but everything was cancelled.
everything was cancelled.
There is even I cannot talk about it because I'm not supposed to, but the event had been cancelled. So I don't know if the contract still stands now that the event won't happen, but a really really important event contacted me, important to me. I mean, given what the kind of thing I do, and it was on the other side of the world, and I couldn't wait to tell everyone, and I never got to tell everyone because it was cancelled.
If you say
before it
Dragon Con,
could
I'm going to
even
be
happen.
very upset with you.
No, not this kind of event. A really particular event, like one would say Warhammer Fest for Warhammer.
Oh, yep.
It was linked to a particular fandom. You see.
Jess has just said already trying to get my next one started, but bills.
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 Yeah, bills.
I think my next actual cosplay costume when I go to a convention is going to be a giant glue gun.
I've seen someone cosplay, a Mod Podge bottle somewhere in America.
I saw the Mod Podge bottle, and that gave me the inspiration to make a glue gun. So I'll have a giant glue gun. But all right, well look, I think what we'll do is wrap it up there. Is there anything else you want to tell everybody? Anything else you want to talk about before we close out tonight?
I don't know.
All right, okay. Anyway, thank you so much for coming on the interview with us, and most definitely be speaking to you again. And
Thank you.
so what I'll do is I'll just cut across to, where are we? I can never find the right button. So, guys, that was Arboreal Key, and so she is available on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, World Wide Web, and appropriate other bits and pieces. And probably if you throw a pigeon in the air, she'll probably find it too. So, anyway, drop her a line if you have any questions about her cosplays and her costumes or crafting capabilities and skills. She's a fantastic person. She's definitely open, even though she's an introvert like the rest of us. She's open to responding to people. So, and on that note, guys, we'll catch you next time. Thanks very much for watching again, and see you soon.